Good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian,
And I'm Lauren.
and this is a Start Your Strength with Kettlebell and Bodyweight skill routine. 45 minutes or so. What do you need? You need yourself, your own body weight, perhaps a kettlebell or light dumbbell off to the side. And today we'll work on our grip strength, coordinate our moves with the get up, and work on some of our endurance in the squat position. But first, as customary with our practice, let's start with our breath. And for that, Lauren, how are you going to be today? Laying, seating, standing.
I'll lie down.
You choose. Join Laura on the floor on her back, or me in a tall sit, as we'll get into our breath to start. With one hand on the belly, place one hand on the chest, and with the mouth closed, take a breath into that belly. Fill for about 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds as well. Repeat one more time into the belly, filling 4 seconds full, exhaling 4 seconds. Repeat up top, fill the chest. On the inhale, feel the top hand move and the bottom hand stay stable. Exhale, and repeat one last time into the breath, into the chest, and exhale. Take a breath in, 4 seconds again. Hold full for 4. Exhale. Repeat a chest breath for 4 seconds in. Hold full for 4. And exhale. Repeat your belly breath, 4 seconds in. Add the hold. And inhale again to that chest. And exhale. Repeat one last time into the belly. Hold. Inhale to the chest again. And exhale. Now with me, take 5 quick breaths in and out. Let's go in, out, in, out, in. Last one. Now take a big breath in. And more. And just hold that for 4. And calmly let that exhale. Wiggle it out, flip over to all 4s onto those wrists, and we'll let Lauren take us through a little bit of our wrist warm-up.
From all 4s, we'll have
to make a slight adjustment.
We'll have our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. In that all 4s position, before we get into our wrist warm-up, I'd like you to just focus your attention on your low back. So right now, tilt your tail to the ceiling, so we're having that exaggerated sway back, and then gently tuck all the way under to try to round that low back. And let's do that one more time each way. Tilt the tail up to the ceiling, and then gently tuck under, feel those abs engage. And now I want you to pause in a place in between those two. So you're slightly tucked under, you have a nice neutral low back. Hold that position throughout a wrist warm-up. Now directing your attention to your hands. Your shoulders are packed. Let's start with our shrugs here. So we'll elevate our shoulders, sliding our blades up into our ear, and then we'll pull them down, engaging our armpits. Do that again. Shrug your shoulders, pull them down one last time. As you're doing that, you're aware that your spine's not moving, but just your shoulder blades sliding over your rib cage. Now those shoulders should be down, lats engaged, juicing that orange underneath your armpit. From here, rotate your blood donations or your elbow pits all the way forward, and then hide them and rotate them backwards. Rotate your blood donations forward and rotate them backwards. And one last time, reset those shoulders and rotate your blood donations forward. Now from here, gently drift your shoulders over top of your fingertips, and then press your fingers into the floor to press your shoulders back to stacked. Repeat. Gently let your shoulders drift over your fingertips for wrist extension, and then press in the floor to press yourself back to stacked. And one last time. This time we'll press our shoulders over top of our fingertips. It's going to be a little bit hard, but we'll push our first knuckles into the ground, peel our palms away from the floor, keep those elbows nice and straight and your shoulders down, and then press through those fingers to extend up out of that, shaking that out. From here, we'll do a quarter turn with those hands, so fingers face sideways. But to put those down, extend your fingertips long, fingertips down, then through the fingers to the first knuckle, and then down through the palm of the hand. Once you're there, make sure those fingers are spread out wide. And again, your checklist. Are your shoulders up in your ears, or are they pulled down? That's where they should be. Are your blood donation elbow pits forward? Now from here, drift over to one side, and then use those fingers to press yourself through center. Drift to the other side, press into the floor. One more time each way. Right now, I'm not looking at you because I'm trying to keep my head, neck neutral, so I'm just looking down between my hands. Last press to center. Now this time, same way to get up. Peel the palm away from the floor, keep the elbows straight, and then fingers press away. Shake that out. Let's do one more extra wrist today. From the fists, hinge again. Are you still in that neutral spine we talked about the first round through? Pull your shoulders down, elbows are nice and straight. From here, roll over the back of your hand, opening up your fingers and placing the palm on the floor, the back of the hand on the floor. Then press that back of hand into the floor to get back up to gorilla fist. Repeat other side. Roll over, spreading thumb, pinky, index, middle ring, and then press in the floor back to knuckles. One last time each side. Shoulder stays packed, elbow stays straight this whole time. And again, that pit of the elbow should be forward. Press into the floor back up. And last one, roll over. And by should be forward in that elbow pit, I mean you're trying. It might not get there right away, and that's okay. Press the floor away, extend your hips, squeeze your butt, brace your core. Shake it out. Nice.
Oh, the head neck, lovely at old head neck. So from a tall kneeling position or any other position comfortable for you, start with our figure eights at the head neck. Start by pulling the crown of the head high and the chin in. Then casually flex the head neck to have the chin approach the sternum. From here, I'm going to scrape my lateral clavicle on the right as I look over my right shoulder, and then continue to look up the wall to center. In center, pull the crown of the head back high, the chin will go low towards the sternum. Same thing to the lateral side, rotate along the clavicle, other side, looking over the shoulder. Come back to center, pull the crown of the high head, return center. Repeat in the alternate direction, starting with your extension to the ceiling. Then rotate to the original side, looking down that wall, connecting the chin towards the clavicle or collarbone. Return center. Repeat through the extension phase up to the ceiling. Then looking at the ceiling to the wall at the side. Staying tall through the body, connect the chin towards the clavicle. Rotate and finish center with our little reset wiggle. From here, we'll throw it back to Lauren and do a mobility get up where we'll state some of the do's and don'ts or how to refine the simple get up.
We must start in our cuddle. So come on down to the floor. Roll to one side. Grip your imaginary kettlebell. Roll two hands to your back and two-handed press. From here, take away your top hand and place it on the floor about 45 degrees from your body. That same leg should be out extended and it should be about parallel with that arm. Right now, the arm that's up and that leg is bent. That foot is going to drive into the floor, send energy into your butt cheek, and just feel your butt cheek light up before you go anywhere. And then relax. And do that again. Press your foot into the floor, feel your butt cheek light up, and then relax. This time we're going to push a little more and extend our hip. So our butt's going to come off the floor, hip extend, and then come back down to your backside. This time, add a little more oomph. Press into the floor, extend that hip, head, shoulder pulls. Head, shoulder comes with you, pull on that elbow to your your elbow sit. From here, check yourself out. Is your bottom shoulder nice and packed, or are you slumps? Go slumps for a second. Good. Now go back to stacked shoulder. One more time, slumps. One more time, pack shoulder. From here, keep that bottom shoulder packed. Push the floor away, squish a bug, find your hand. Just like we did in the warm-up, our shoulders should be packed and our blood donation is forward or extended elbow. We're going to drive that bent leg and our arm, hand into the floor and extend our hips. Lift, sweep our long leg underneath. Right now, check yourself out. Are both your shoulders stacked over top of each other, or are you sitting back more in a not stacked position? Hand leaves the floor, hips extend. Front foot moves. Let's pull that bell down into our rack position for a second. Hold it here. Using both legs, drive them down. So I'm pushing my front foot down and forward, and I'm pushing my back foot down and back. That should create some tension in your legs. See if you could hover your back knee off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Soft landing back down. Now create that tension so much you stand up. Push forward and back, up to tall. Let your imaginary bell go. Are we going back down, Ian?
Mm-hmm.
Keep that imaginary bell in your rack position. The leg you can touch is going to step back. Now control your lunge down. 5. Push that back hip forward and the front leg back. 3, 2. Soft landing. From here, let's groove that overhead press. So press that bell overhead, keeping your shoulder out of your ear. Once it's there, front foot opens. We're going to push that hip. Nope, we're going to rotate our upper body and then push that hip back. Hand finds the floor. Make sure you stack your shoulders here. Once you're stacked, lifting the back knee, sweep. Find the elbow, keeping the proud shoulder. And then we're going to take 4 seconds to find the floor. Here we go. Press away from that elbow. Use that other bent leg to drive into the floor. 3, 2. Soft landing. Down. 2 hands on your bell. Pull your bell down. Cuddle to put it down in place. Relax. Nice. From here, we're going to work on our hip extension. So stay lying on your back. Feet are planted on the floor. Let's go arms out to the side for now. Just like we did in that first move of our get up, we're going to push energy down into the floor and light up all the way through the back of our legs and into our glutes and butts. And then gently relax. And do that again. Drive your feet into the floor and feel that energy through hamstrings, butts. Maybe you can touch your butts and feel them clench and then relax. Now this time, do that again evenly on both sides. Start squeezing your glutes and roll yourself up to your hip bridge. So here, our hips, our knees, and our shoulders should be in somewhat of a line. Our abs are braced. Now I want you to come down thinking 1 vertebrae at a time from the top down. So the back of my sternum or my chest is going to come down first. And then I'm going to work through the ab vertebrae. And the backside of my belly button is going to touch before my low back. Once I've rolled myself back out, I'm going to drive into the floor, tuck my hips, squeeze my glutes, and roll myself all the way back up to tall bridge position. Hold, glutes and abs. One more time, articulate all the way down. Butt touches last, and gently relax. Before we go for our other side mobility get up, let's flip over and do a little plank action. From your knees or your hands, if you're on your elbows, elbows are underneath shoulders with fists in line. If you're on your hands, hands are underneath shoulders. Come to my modified position here, so I'm from my knees. I'd like you to tuck your hips under, squeeze your butt, pull the floor together. Don't move. Stay on your knees this time for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then gently come on down and relax, either from Ian's tall position or mine here. We're going to do that again. If that was hard enough from your knees, great. If you want to perform it from your toes, wonderful. You should not feel your back in a plank. If you are, you need to squeeze your butt more, and you need to brace your abs more, and you maybe need to try your modified position more. Get ready. Tuck hips under, lift. If you want, lift knees, tuck, pull, hold. 10, 9, fists of fury, elbows pulling towards knees, butt squeezed. Continue to breathe for 4, 3, 2, knees come down. Flip back to your backside, and Ian will take us on the other side, mobility get up.
I love doing those planks. And again, since last March, as we've been recording live, I've probably performed more high tension planks in my life than I have prior to this. And it really shows up in our swings and how we can stay strong.
Sorry, excuse me.
So as Lauren does a little modification there, let's join in the other side for the kettlebell cuddle. In this case, I will have my right hand on my imaginary kettlebell. For here, 2 hands on the kettlebell, rolling to your back, pressing to what we call that firing range. Take that top hand, extend it at the belt height at the side, and then cue up that hip extension Lauren did earlier. Push the bent leg foot into the floor. Don't go anywhere yet, but can you feel that excitement of the hips, butts? Relax. Repeat one more time, and this time extend the hip with the shoulder and pull on the elbow to rest. Shrug a little bit and continue to press that floor away as our good habit for the get up. From here, transition to the tall sit. I'm gonna come up a little closer. Transition to that tall sit, and in the tall sit, with the arm on the ground, roll the shoulder forward, pull it back, press the floor away. Repeat one more time, shoulder forward, shoulder back, press the floor away. This is a strong position we recommend for the get up. From here, we'll press into the floor, bridge, sweep, bend that other leg. Lauren queued up nicely. Is the arm up top, stacked over top of the hand on the ground, or are you behind? From here, then we can hinge, bringing that hand along the floor up the leg, square up your lunge. Take a moment to bring that hand back into the rack. That's a position we'll hopefully explore with your load today. And again, like Lauren cued, let's press energy forward through the front, back through the back, and create a 5, 4, 3, hover, relax. Reset that tension, press forward through the front leg, back through the returning leg in the rear, and stand up tall. Drop that same leg to the back, extend that back hip and pull in on the front to control the lunge. Now let's take a hand to that racks position again, hip, brace down, press towards overhead, and then from here, we'll open the leg to the side, add that rotation of the upper body, hinging on the hip, tracing the leg to the floor, stacking up over top of the hand on the ground, and then sweeping a leg through, ending in your tall set. Find the elbow, then press the elbow away and control to the floor. From here, we'll cue up the hip extension one more time, one more set of our high plank, and then we're into a little bit of a 3-way squat. The hip extension bridge is Lauren cued. Plant those feet into the floor, cramp the glutes, and brace the abs. So with toes open wide, heavy feet, cramp those glutes and initiate your hip extension away from the floor. We're gonna hold this position for 10, 9, create tension by gripping the floor, brace those glutes, give a little ab tap for 2 more seconds, and then relax. Stay here in a slightly relaxed position, and for one more time, let's create high tension again. Grip the floor with the feet, squeeze your buttocks, pull your knees together, perform that chin tuck, create that nice abdominal tension again, and for 2 more seconds, hold on, slowly relax, and again, articulate down the spine, nice and control like a cat-cow could be. Again, the back of the belly button touches before the tops of those butt cheeks, and return to the floor. For the final time as well, prepare that core, turn it on, excited for what work we have coming up next. Either that high planks position as I was demonstrating from my hands, or on those forearms as Lauren was from before. Set up in your plank, modify from the knees, and one last time, 10 seconds of all-out effort starts now. Now meaning, again, hands pulling to feet, squeezing the butt cheeks, bracing the core, maintaining your breathing from behind that shield of abs for 2, 1, soften away. I love when Lauren shares with us with that down dog get up, so let's try that here. Open those hands, soften the knees, but prioritize that the tailbone again is tilted towards the ceiling or the front of the hips towards the floor. From there, can you then straighten your knees by 1 millimeter? A single degree goes a long way, and keep the tailbone long. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Hanging out. And then walk yourself up to standing. Extend the hips through. Take a look outside to see what that racket was about. Get a drink, get a coffee, and here we are for our three-way squat. We'll start with ourselves in our parallel stance. So with your feet narrow, slowly descend into your squat, knees over toes as if there's a wall behind you. From here, extend your hips through. Repeat again, knees over toes, heavy feet, pull the feet backwards, let the knees go forwards, and extend. And one more time, same thing, knees over toes. This time as we extend, we'll continue to rise onto the feet. The ribs and hips are connected, hips extending through, and slow down as well. Nice and control on the descent. Pivot on those heels to that first position stance. First, press out. Excite those leg muscles. Secondly, let's pull in. Continue to pull in, which would let the knees bend, going over those toes. Again, press into the ground to stand up tall. Pull the heels together, descend in your lunge. Squat. Press to tall. And on our third one, we'll do the same as we go low. Press as we get tall, and then continue to press down and hold your balance for 3, 2, and with straight knees, bum cheek squeezing, slowly let the heels come down. Open to that sumo stance, second stance, slightly wider. Same thing as before, let's press out, feel some excitement in those hips, pull together, and then continue to pull together, guiding that nice, safe, strong knee bend in our squat. Then press to tall, extending the hips. Are your feet heavy? Repeat twice more, pulling in, pressing to tall, and the last one again, descending low in that squat with tension and control. Press away, and as the knees straighten, press down, grab onto that balance aid at the side if you need, hold for 4, 3, 2, and then again, slow and control on the down. Tip, in, shake it out. Those will be our squats. Hinges, we'll also hinge in today's practice. Hinges, feet facing mostly forward. Again, feet just outside of those hips. Chop those hip flexors in the front. Keep the spine long from the crown of the head, pulling away from the body as the butt goes back. Hallmarks again include vertical shins, armpits low, breathing, and heavy tension under those feet. Press those feet into the floor, extend the hips, let the shoulders and hips rise at the same time. Repeat twice more. We chop, pressing those feet out into the ground, feeling load on the side of the hips, and then using those glute max muscles, extend to tall with the core brace. Repeat one last time, hip hinge, press out, stand tall, with your brace intact. Do you have your kettlebell handy? Let's get it. First, let's just do a quick little arm bar movement to get loaded in that firing range position, ideally connecting that one day to our fully loaded get up. So I have a very light kettlebell. Use your imaginary bell or that dumbbell you have off to the side, and let's get down to the floor and cuddle it like we did originally in the get up. This will be our first kettlebell hold for today, hopefully also exploring our low hold, our goblet, and then our rack. Cuddle your bell. I have it here on my right-hand side, and roll to your back side. From here, press up, core tension. You have 2 hands on the kettlebell over the chest. As feeling safe and strong, take that top hand away and place it out to the side like our get up. For 10 more seconds, pack that shoulder blade, making sure that that forearm is perpendicular to the floor or vertical, and crush the grips. Securely have that kettlebell handle firmly attached to your hand. 2 more seconds. Let's go 2 hands on that kettlebell. Return both knees to bend and pull the elbow to the hip and return to your side. Leave the kettlebell where it is. Take a second and coordinate yourself around that kettlebell and repeat the same timed hold in our firing range position. Pack your shoulders, press to tall, And here we are in our firing range position. The shoulder blade again is active on the lats and packed in the back. 2 hands on the bell is appropriate as you need, but take a hand away as allowed. Build that strength, endurance, and confidence under the bell with your firm grip for 3, 2. 2 hands on. I like bending both knees. Pull the elbow to the hip and return to the cuddle. Now let's just get up standing out of the get up. You choose the side. I have my left hand facing the ceiling with my left leg bent. I'll press through the ground, ending up on my elbow. Then to that tall sit. Modify with an arm across chest if the arm overhead is too much. As you bridge and sweep and come up and square and stand and shake it out. This time, Lauren will take us through that 3-way squat, but instead of balancing on straight legs, we'll add the balance on our bent knees.
Standing in our first position of those 3 ways will be our parallel feet. Feet underneath you, hips facing forward, shoulders square forward. First 2, knees press over toes, and then extend to tall. At the top, really pull up those kneecaps, squeeze your glutes, brace your core like you're in a straw. Repeat, knees press over toes, shoulders stay stacked over hips, drive down to extend up. This time at the bottom, hang out, so knees press over toes. If allowed, roll up to those toes. Knees still face forward, ankles still face forward. 3, 2, stay the same height, put your heels down, and then extend to tall. Same routine, but from first. Turn out, knees press over toes, pulling yourself down but tall, and then drive down and away. Straw. Pull together, shoulders stacked over hips, drive down and away, tall. This time, knees press over toes, heels peel off the floor, hold. Push the insides of those heels forward. 3, 2, same height, heels land, then extend up. Point, toe ball heel. 3 again. Pull the floor together underneath you. In this one especially, drive down and away. Pull again. In this one especially, keep those shoulders stacked over top of those hips. Drive down and away. And last time, pulling the floor together. Once you're down there, heels peel up. Hold. 3, 2, same height as you put your heels down, and then extend to tall. Point, close, shake. Whew. I like those.
Yeah, me too. One more set of those hinges again. This time, just add a slight variation, and let's try a single leg hinge. Woo. For single leg hinges, nice progressions include setting up your 2-foot hinge stance. Chop the hips, press the hips back. Transition your weight to one side. I'm going to choose my left. There will be that lateral shift. Then take the other leg, extend it out the back, and did you maintain a vertical shin? Let's hold it for 3, 2, lightly drag that toe across the ground in the back and extend your hip to tall. Open up your stance, repeat on the alternate side. Hip hinge, press the hips back. Transition weight to the right side, there will be that shift. And then slide the leg to the back, keep it on the floor. Is your shin in the front vertical? Check, check. Then, nice and control, extend through. One more time each side as we open our stance. Press the feet into the floor as you set up the hinge. The crown is long, the core is braced. Transition the weight, slide the leg to the back. Is that shin in the front still vertical? 3, 2, 1, extend to tall. Repeat one last time on the other side. Hip hinge stance, hips back, transition weight, vertical shin in the front, toe tap in the back for stability, hold for time, and extend with control. Repeat one more time. Let's go anyhow you want to get to the floor and resume the firing range position or the kettlebell hold on the ground.
Excellent.
Anything we missing on that, Lauren? Good grips, good balance, anything else?
No.
No? All right, let's go through that checklist again, starting with the cuddle, and I'll have the kettlebell on my right side to start. So here we are in the cuddle, the shoulders are packed, and my grip is firm. Rolling to the back and pressing the kettlebell to the ceiling with 2 hands. Place the other hand at the side as the get up protocol. And for about 15 seconds again, grip firm. Heavy extension with those triceps on the elbows.
Oh, I have one.
The shoulders is back. Yeah, Lauren, share it.
Don't have the kettlebell over top of your face.
Ooh, good one.
Protect that money maker.
So it's that external rotation at the shoulder. The kettlebell is over the chest, but not over the face.
Not really.
And 3, and 2. 2 hands on, and pull down. So if Lauren's on her back there, what she was trying to describe, and I kind of messed up there, the kettlebell should be out here rather than being internally rotated and over the face. So maintain that external rotation at the shoulder, that the kettlebell stays lateral to the body, protecting the face, because that's important too. We're going to switch out one last time here as we hold for about 15 seconds.
Dental bills are enough.
Yeah.
As a
So
cleaning.
pack those shoulders, take a breath to prepare, and roll to your back and press 2 hands to the ceiling. Place the alternate hand at the side as allowed. For sure, use it for stability if you need. And again, grip firmly with the hand at the top. Pull from that armpit center to stay strong. And breathe. And breathe. And check. Like Lauren said or asked, is that kettlebell over your face or away from the body? Return 2 hands to the kettlebell. Return the elbow to the floor in a pull. Return to the cuddle. And no rules. Let's get up. Pa-pow. Help a friend up. Let them help themselves up. And we'll go from here. Last couple weeks, we have been working on kettlebell holds. I'd like to continue that pursuit today in an I go, you go fashion. Meaning, Lauren will stand over top of her kettlebell, grab it with one hand, extend it tall, and then out to the side. She's going to walk around the room. Sorry. I'm going to hang out in my low squat as Lauren walks around the room. She might take 3 or 4 steps front, 3 or 4 steps back, 3 or 4 steps to the lateral side,
You were tripping.
and then the other, and then reset. Does that make sense?
So while I'm doing that, Ian will be in his squat. We'll switch hands, switch people, switch. So either you're with me or you're with Ian, and then you switch.
And then we'll switch. So we'll go from a hanging out in our squats position to our load. Lauren gets to go 3 times. So this will be both, again, doing the right hand load and the left hand load. 5 or 6 steps forward and back, and then left or right. Assemble those in a cross or assemble those in a box, whatever you have the space requirements for. Ready to go, Lauren?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we are. I'm going to pull myself to our squats position. 3, 2, 1, and go. I don't know how long Lauren's going to do this, so I'm going to say, okay, I'll hang out my squat right about here. And then as I feel safe and strong with that, you might challenge yourself to go lower. Not only is it more challenging to get low, it's also harder to get up once you've been low. So take a breath, brace, stand up, shake, and Lauren's going to repeat on the other side. And if you feel strong and safe, join me back in our squat or just wiggle it out in between. We pull ourselves low. Break some rules in that squats position. Check out the person carrying it if you are working with a training partner. You can see how she has a good grip. She's articulating through the feet. You can see that core brace. A couple steps to the side. Return the kettlebell to the ground. And up out of that squat with control as well. Okay, so now it's my turn.
So if you were carrying the bell with me, now you're hanging out in your low squat.
And
if you weren't carrying, now you're with Ian. All right, as we're pulling ourselves low, let's hang out as Ian does his walkabouts. Key things to note as Ian's walking about. Anytime you're doing that farmer's or loaded carry, even if it's stationary, which it also could be if your space doesn't allow for movement, you want to be nice and upright. So you're resisting the urge to fall over to the side of that bell. Use the opposing side muscles to keep yourself up tall. You can perform this exercise with any sort of weighted object. Obviously, we love kettlebells, but a dumbbell, a water softener bag of salt, that might be a little excessive. Let's stand up, take a quick second out of our low squat, and then we'll come back down when Ian's ready to start a second side. Pull yourself low. If you're with me in this squat, is your chest lifted and your spine nice and long. Because this is a squat, our butt is below our knees. Our knees are allowed to be pressing over our toes. That's what ankle mobility is for. Hang out for the last couple seconds, and then push down and out on the floor to stand up, and shake it out as Ian finishes up his last walk. Nice hinge.
Whew. Implementing those hinge basics, and again, loading out at the side is appropriate, as would be in the center. If you're loading the side, no hips to the side, hips back, nice and strong. Okay, that's enough rest for me. Are you ready to go?
Right?
Okay, so from that low position, let's use our squat like last week. Pull it up in that goblet hold and hold a single kettlebell with 2 hands in your center.
It'll look like
3,
this.
2, 1.
Oh, I was just going to demonstrate.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so from that squat position, if you're with me in the goblet hold, grip your bells so thumbs go in. Grip, we're doing it now.
Okay.
Grip, curl that bell up with it. Once we're standing tall, our butts are squeezed, no leaning back, abs tight, and bell is just off our body. Walk about.
You're going to lean forward to keep that load on your abdominals. Extend the hips as you step with your glutes, but keep the low back safe by engaging the core. Take your side steps, your front steps, pattern it up, return that bell to the floor through the squat, come up barehanded, and come up together. Quick rests here. Lauren will hang out in that squat as I now do our goblet hold. I'm standing with the kettlebell just slightly in front, pulling myself low. Grab by the horns like Lauren said. Biceps curl up. Stand up tall. Adjust your stance. Keep those ribs forward. Maintain your breathing.
If you're in your squat down here, try something different. Can you gently open up a hip, pushing that away from center and back through center? And then open up a hip, pushing that hip open and back to center. One more time each way. Drive that hip open, center. Drive that leg hip open, center. Drive into the floor, up to tall. Surprise guest.
Yeah,
They're going to come back later.
Nowadays. All right, we can shake that out. One more time of that. Let's hang out in that low position squat again.
Wait, goblet?
And carry in that goblet hold for one last time today. Pull yourself low. Hang out in your squat. We can break some of the rules or create new opportunities for movement down here. Make fists tight together and pull the knees into the elbows on both sides. Woo. Relax, and now try to pull away. Reconnect the elbows, and this time push out with the elbows, and then in with those knees. Whew. Lauren just wanted some extra seconds up there.
I was just buying you time.
And we can stand up.
Find those squatters.
So switch that out one last time. Why do we hold kettlebells like this? Because it's functional. You might be carrying, as Lauren said, some water softener salt here or there. It's good for your grip strength and good for your awareness, and build that fun relationship with your kettlebell.
All right, squatters, let's get back down here. Sitting up tall. Last time, if you were with me, we worked on pushing that leg open. Could we let that leg come in a little bit? You stay down there. Could we let that leg come in a little bit? So without tipping or twisting, can we bring that leg towards internal rotation? Open back up. Try the other side. Internal rotation, open back up. One more time each way. If yours does not go as far as mine, this is okay. I have an odd amount of this, but harder for me the other way. Open back to center, drive down and away to stand up tall. Whew.
There is one more kettlebell hold to explore for today, and that's that same flexed arm position, but instead of holding the kettlebell with 2 hands, it's holding on to 1. Show us what that's like, Lauren.
Also known as the rack position.
The rack.
To get into that position, you'll stand over top of your bell, and the handle will be in parallel with you. You'll use your hinge, grip with one hand, cuddle with the other. Nice flat back, inhale to brace, pull, do up the zipper of your jacket, rack. In this rack position, our wrist is over top of, don't worry, we'll do this all together so you can just be watching. Our wrist is over top of our elbow. Again, we're not lazy or holding a little child on our hip. We're up nice and tall. Brace, hold, 3, 2, use your hinge, Keep the bell close to your body as you put it down. Up without. All right.
Okay.
We're going to do our walkabouts again with that. Or if this is new and you just want to stand still, stand still. Hinge, grip, cuddle, zip.
Squatting is the direction, as Lauren alluded to, with your bum going below your knees. You can also try that in a narrow stance. For something different for your last set, how low can you go? How low can you go? While staying balanced. Right here, my spine is rounded and flexed. Kind of has to be so low here. Know the rules of the squat, keeping the spine extended, and feel free to add those personal touches or fun variations like this little narrow ski squat. I'm gonna come back up, maybe a little bit of a shake, and again, nothing wrong with coming to our squat here, trending that the hips are going towards below the knees, keeping the spine long. Press to tall, shake it out, reset and switch. So queuing up that cheek clean, standing over my bell, right hand on, left hand shadow, zip up my coat, rack position, and go.
And now that Ian's walking around a rack, we'll try that same ski squat he did. Biggest thing about being able to do this is having the ankle mobility to press those knees over your toes. And yes, like he said, you will see that more rounded spine in this position. See how low you can hang out? Maybe that's here and that's okay. And maybe that's here and that's okay. Hang out for 5, 4. Do try to retract those shoulders and keep your chest up. 2, 1. Drive down and away to stand up tall.
Switching sides.
We'll do the same thing from our regular squat position one last time. Pulling the floor together, sitting low, chest is up, butts are low. This time, maybe after all of those low squats, we're finding some new depth in this, pressing from side to side, opening a hip, closing a hip, and then we're driving down and away into the floor to tall. And shake it out. As Ian's finishing that up, using your hinge, keeping the bell close to put it back down.
Whew. Shaking it out. Previous weeks, we have worked on our deadlift hinge and some of our bodyweight chop and pop or timing drills to help our swing. As you finish today's practice, which is a little bit more endurance, use your bodyweight only and follow along. And again, an I go, Lauren goes, or an I go, you go rep scheme. We'll do 5 repetitions and then 10 of chop and pops.
Chop and pops.
Get the swing going.
All right. So in our chop and pops, if you're unfamiliar, let's just give you a quick demonstration. We're sitting in those hinge width, feet apart. We take our hands. We're going to go slow to start. We chop our hips. Our hips go back into our hinge or our loaded position of our swing. From here, we chop our butts forward, pop all the way to tall. At the top position, butts and abs, just like you're in your plank. Repeat, we're going to pick up the pace a bit. Chop and pop. Chop and pop. Chop, pop. Chop, pop. 5 more. 5, 4, punch in the stomach. 3, 2, we're timing that strong exhale with as our hips drive through. And relax, shaking out. We didn't do I go, you go. We did both go.
We need to both go. So let's go both go. Instead of 5, let's shake it out. We'll commit to a set of 10 repetitions or a number just slightly higher than your 5. Something modest, something high, and work in between to stay strong. You ready to go? 10?
Here we go. Chop, pop, chop, pop. Keep that pace this whole time. This is basically the pace of a loaded kettlebell swing, so that when we do eventually hold a real bell, our body knows timing and pattern. 1 more, because I don't know.
That's 11. Nice.
11.
1 more for the road. Shake it out. Let's go 1 more set. And again, from 5 to 10,
to
let's
11.
finish with a nice, or 11, we'll finish with a nice strong set of 5 repetitions.
5.
3, 2, let's go.
Who knows?
Breath in.
Nice.
Awesome. Those chop and pop or bodyweight variations of your swing allows you to check in with your form. I was focusing on keeping my ribs connected to my hips and my head neutral, avoiding the excessive neck. Take your time. Build those relationships with your kettlebell first and the holds. Build your strength and explore the swing.
Thanks for joining us today on our beginner bell bodyweight class.
Extravaganza.
Yes. It's just kind of a complicated name, you know. You don't want to say beginner too much because then people feel like it's so beginner. You don't want to say advanced because then people get scared. So tell us your feelings on what the name should be. Beginner, bodyweight, and bell. We'll take that into consideration. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Lauren.
I'm Ian.
And this is Bars and Bells.
We'll be back with bar, bodyweight, and kettlebell exercises always. Take care.
Goodbye.
Who came in here?
Was it just Jason?